we heard about this chiropractor in our town who practices at Nuka. And we thought chiropractic was fake, quackery, stay away from them. Neurologist told us that. But like, what do we have to lose? So we went in. I got adjusted. I remember feeling like they were tickling behind my ear. And for a second, I thought, neurologist was right. This is fake. Like we're getting scammed right now. And then the subluxation got cleared, and I felt this pressure flush from my head, kind of like the Jim McMahon story. And I felt life rush back into me. And I remember the room got more vivid and colored. And that day, my body started healing again. And from there, how it works, family got under care. They all got better from things they didn't know they had. And everyone's quality of life improved. And I said, hey, I want to do this with my life now.
Well, hello, everybody. Dr. Ron Oberstein, president of Life Chiropractic College West, coming at you with another one of our Life by Life West webcasts and podcasts. And we've got a great guest. Before I even move further, I need to introduce my better half, my greatest half, my partner in life and health. No crime here. Dr. Mary Oberstein. Mary, welcome.
Hi.
It's great to see you. We got to get this set up one day where we're sitting together. I don't know how we do that, but I might need a bigger office, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But our guest today is Dr. Nolan Halverson, coming at us from Grapevine, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Dr. Nolan graduated Life West in 2022. And he is doing just amazing things, June 2022. So he's about 6 or 7 months out of school and just doing amazing things, but also just an amazing person. When Nolan was at the college here, I got the privilege to get to know him pretty well. He was involved in a lot of activities. He was on our world-class hockey team. Of course, he's from Minnesota, and he's from our world-class hockey team. And he was on student council. He was our athletics person, did all the athletic events for our students. And was just completely immersed in chiropractic. You'll hear his story today of how he got into it and what he's done since then. I think it's really an amazing journey and one that Dr. Mary and I wanted to be able to bring to you. So, Nolan, welcome to the Life by Life West.
Thank you. Honored to be here.
All right. Well, let's jump in. Mary, you want to start? Want me to start? What would you like to do?
Oh, boy. Well, I'll start.
Good.
Okay, wait, you started when, in June or July 2022?
I graduated June of 2022.
And you opened your doors there when?
August 1st.
August 1st. So you might be the newest chiropractor, possibly, Ron, that we've had on Life by Life West?
I think so.
And we're excited because, as people know, for Life by Life West, we try to get people in practice a very, like a shorter time, just to be more relevant. But you are like a newbie.
Yeah, newbie.
Let's start from the beginning. Like, let's jump right in about, well, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to when you were at Life West. Yeah. Share with us some inflection points. As Ron said, you were so involved in the community, and I know you had a lot to do with the culture here of the students. So let's talk about some like inflection points, just some things looking back now in all of your vast experience of what you, just what you remember about Life West and what led to where you are today.
Yeah, I think it started with the student ambassadors and a champions weekend. And I remember coming from Minnesota and flew down to the Bay for it. And I had plans to look at life in Sherman after Life West was my first stop. And I was just blown away with how awesome everyone was. And Dr. Oberstein obviously finished it with his awesome talk at the end. And I think I signed up that day and I was ready to start. Wow. But one thing I remember the ambassadors saying, student ambassadors, student champions, was, hey, the people who get the most out of this program give the most back into it. They're the most involved. So from day one of school, I tried to get involved in everything I could, along with knocking on Dr. Oberstein's door because his open door policy. So I was trying to schedule a meeting once every quarter or whatnot. And he'd always sneak me in. So I remember it was about third quarter. The first 2 quarters, I was that Nuka guy. So chiropractic story wouldn't be alive without chiropractic. But for a while, I thought it was because of Nuka.
Well,
And that's all I
share before you do it. Share your story. Share like what took place in high school or whenever it happened. I think it'd be really
Yeah, so senior in high school, I was off to play college football. And one game in high school, I caught a pass, got tied up on the 1 yard line, and I was trying to reach the ball into the end zone and got blindsided by a linebacker, just a really nasty hit and concussed right away. They sent me to the neurologist, and over a couple of weeks, they did a bunch of tests and everything. And how they're trained in that world is kind of, hey, this is what you have. You just got to learn how to deal with it. So what they told me as an 18-year-old kid was, you're never going to get better. You're going to have to give away your scholarships. You're going to be on these drugs the rest of your life. And like, we don't know how you're going to do in school. You might need extra help. You might need extra help in life. Like, disability is not out of the picture. Yeah. And then they also gave me tinted glasses. So I went from captain of the football team, friends with everyone in the school, the kid off to play college football, to the kid drugged out of his mind, sitting in the back of the classroom with tinted glasses on. And you mix both the drugs I was on, a side effect was depression and suicidal thoughts, and then a head injury, and then future taken away at 18, and then no hope of getting better by the best neurologist in your town. Dark thoughts can start to creep in. And I remember the lowest it ever got was around Christmas time, families in the living room, watching Christmas movies, making memories. I'm in my room, lights off, laying under my bed, thinking whether I want to still live or not. And then we heard about this chiropractor in our town who practices Nuka. And we thought chiropractic was fake, quackery, stay away from them. Neurologist told us that. But like, what do we have to lose? So we went in. I got adjusted. I remember feeling like they were tickling behind my ear. And for a second, I thought, neurologist was right. This is fake. Like, we're getting scammed right now. And then the subluxation got cleared, and I felt this pressure flush from my head, kind of like the Jim McMahon story. And I felt life rush back into me. And I remember the room got more vivid in color. And that day, my body started healing again. And from there, how it works, family got under care. They all got better from things they didn't know they had. And everyone's quality of life improved. And I said, hey, I want to do this with my life now. So I went off to chiro school.
Wow.
Boy, if that's not the greatest testimonial.
Yeah.
Wow. So then those inflection points,
yeah.
You were going to say something, you came into the office or what?
Yep. So for my first few quarters, I wouldn't do palpation groups or anything, or really work on any adjustments besides the Nuka settle back. And I have tight hamstrings, so I had to work a lot at it. And so
you're a tall guy too.
yeah. So in the office, I was telling you that story, and I was still set on Nuka as the only real form of chiropractic. And I said, Dr. Oberstein, Nuka saved my life. And he said, no, it didn't. I was like, nervous guy, like, yeah, it did. And he said, no, chiropractic saved your life. And that really opened my eyes to all of chiropractic, not just Nuka, which is obviously a great technique, but I practice toggle, diversified, and drop now, and patients still get better.
Yeah. I mean, that's just amazing, because, a lot of people come to school for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
But you came with a passion and you came with a purpose because your life was saved, your own words, right? And to be able to carry that forth and be able to go through school, and obviously school isn't, it's not a cakewalk, there's ups and downs and stuff like that. But the inflection points, I'm interested in what other inflection points, because there had to be more that kind of made you into where you are now, and then your new inflection points are going to take you further, right?
Yeah. So off of that, that's when I started kind of learning, okay, what's more out there in chiropractic? And I heard of this seminar, Dynamic Essentials, And I said, hey, I want to go check this out. And I went and I got really involved there, and it just really fit with who I am. I think it's a great conference, great group of people. And one doc I was fortunate to meet was Walter Sanchez. And chiro school is college, and there's fun to be had, right? And that's kind of where I grew up being an athlete.
I know, Mary, we know nothing about that. Right? The fun to be had. All I hear is, oh man, this is so hard. I'm underwater. We got so many classes. Yada, yada. I know there's fun to be had somewhere, right?
Fridays and Saturdays. But and I'm really an all or nothing person. So, and I liked having a fun time. And it was kind of like, okay, once I graduate, I will start opening my practice and I will start preparing for that then. And I was in fourth or fifth quarter at the time. And we were at Walter Sanchez's house in Miami, and I was sitting on his couch, and I was kind of telling him this: when I get out to practice, I'll start learning this or whatnot. And he cut me off and he says, "Not like you got it all wrong. You start building your practice now."
Yeah.
And my mind was just blown, and it hit me. I was like I am my practice. That Jay-Z quote's one of my favorites. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
Like I myself am my business. So I was like, I need to start really pouring into myself and becoming the best person, chiropractor I can be. So when I get out of the gates, I can help as many people possible. So like I said, I was an all or nothing person for like 2 years. I went completely sober, and I just turned like 22 or something. And it was no partying, no drinking, and it was 100% dedicated to becoming the best chiropractor I could be. And I don't regret a second.
Wow. I had no idea, dude. I had no idea about that. I think that is so cool, but I think it also speaks to the discipline, right? It speaks to the discipline that you have. It speaks to, anybody who's disciplined is always going to show results no matter what. Disciplined in sports, disciplined in business, disciplined in any part of our lives, that's where results come from. And so that's so cool to hear, And then you got where? How'd you find yourself? So you went and preceptored. And I think our audience needs to know this too, Mary, that Nolan, you were like, you're a COVID kid.
Yeah.
Meaning that, part of your education here, how many quarters were you in school here, or how many years during quote unquote COVID?
I think COVID started my third quarter.
Wow.
And
like
did you graduate during COVID then?
Yes. I still considered I guess so. Who knows?
Did you walk across the stage, or were you guys a virtual graduation?
Nope, I walked across the stage.
Okay, so then you came back. I do remember you walking. Yep. So you came back, but you missed COVID was during this whole growth period, right?
Yeah. And I think I had the best chiropractic education ever. And what was during COVID, a lot of the classes were online and stuff. That's when I was at Walter Sanchez's house. We would go to Connecticut, where I saw some of the best practices in the world while I'm doing online classes and just making it back in the Bay to get the labs done and hit the road again. So, but again, it came down to discipline, because when you're in that, okay, if you just have online classes, you could be having a lot of fun, or you could be working on your future practice and getting out and taking full advantage of that.
Right. So you came back, obviously, because you did clinic and you did all that stuff at the college. How was your clinical experience? Like, it was building up on this, on all the training that you're doing, right? And by the way, training started in what quarter? When did you decide to say, I'm committed and I'm going to be disciplined and I'm not going to do all this, the extracurriculars? Though you did a lot of cool things.
Yeah, fifth quarter probably.
Okay.
And then, so soon after that, I think seventh quarter or 6 quarters when student clinic started. 8th quarter was the first outpatient quarter. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's where my goal was. I wanted to do a full year of preceptorship, but I was on the 12 quarter track. So that was never done before, because usually people do 8 and 9 in outpatient, and then they get 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or whatever.
Right.
But I was like, nope, I'm set on the year of getting to preceptors. That means I had to get all my clinic requirements done in 1/4, 8th quarter. And I just set my mind, nothing else mattered. I was there every single day. And Saturdays, people would make fun of me for doing Saturday shifts, and those were my biggest days. But that's where I set the goal at. And obviously, the first like 5 weeks, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. 1 adjustment, 2 adjustment, 3 adjustment. 1 week, everybody no shows, and you're looking at this huge task. It's like, man, in the next things, I need 60 adjustments. That's impossible. And then this was another kind of inflection point. I was talking to Austin Davis, and he's like, man, you're worrying too much about the numbers. Just give, love, serve, do, and just go have fun. So I said, whatever. I had like a calendar where I was tracking each week's adjustments, and I just erased it all. I threw it away, and I just started serving. And then pretty soon we're seeing 12 patients, 15 patients in the weeks. And I get to that first week of 9th quarter, and I was at the 100 adjustments I needed to preceptor.
Yeah.
So I went off and started preceptoring.
That's but you also got what our viewers might not know this. You also got your meta competencies done. You got all of your X-rays, you got all of your exams, you did all your report of findings, all the different things that you had to do, right? PDCSs or whatever they might have been called back then. All these things. It's a lot of work. I mean, it is a lot of work, and
and really what saved me was because I knew that goal before I even got to that 8th quarter was 7th quarter in the student clinic. I like blew the student numbers out of the water, but I was also getting all my X-rays and all this other things you could do on students. So 7th quarter really prepared me to have a good 8th quarter and make it possible.
It's crazy. And then where'd you go? So you got out of here, right? Went on preceptorship.
So I couldn't preceptor out of the Bay right away because that wasn't set up like that for 12 quarters. So I had to stick in San Francisco, and I ended up at Mindy Pell's office, which was powerhouse office. Her and Jared Ward was her associate at the time, and just great chiropractors. Learned a ton, and I did that for 6 months and everything while I was doing boards and classes and everything. And then after that, I went out to Dr. Judson's office in Connecticut for six months.
Yeah, great experience with Steve Judson. Both.
Yeah,
I mean, by the way, Mindy, Mary, she's at school today, right?
She's speaking today at seminar. We're going to see her in about an hour.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Two great offices. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah. So then when I was able to graduate, I already had pretty much a year of associating under my belt. So I was really able to hit it all hard right off the gates from graduating a month and a half before I opened practice.
Love it.
And then how'd you find Grapevine?
So that was another crazy story. For a while, I thought I wanted to go to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
That's what we thought.
Me and my fiance, which
you're looking at Montana too. Montana, Wyoming, Idaho. You're looking at
Yeah, but it started. Coeur d'Alene was the place. It's my favorite city on the planet, and me and my now fiance, it was a powerhouse. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without her. But we would take trips up to Coeur d'Alene, and we thought that's where we were going to practice. And one trip, our Uber from the airport to our hotel crashed. We're in a car crash. Like, wallet got stolen. Like, they didn't have our hotel room booked or something. So like 3 big strikes, and we were like, okay, universe, God doesn't want us here. And I never thought about practicing there again. And that was like 4th quarter.
Wow.
And then Texas.
And then how I got to Texas was I kind of got real with myself. And the best advice I ever got was like, okay, open your practice where you want to live. So I kind of looked at my values, and I was like, okay, what state best aligns with what I'm looking for? And really what it came down to was I wanted no snow. When I was being honest with myself, from Minnesota, I had enough of that. And I was also looking for a state that was more free, and those tended to be the red states. And I was like, if I get to pick where I live, I want a state that has a ton of income tax. So I was looking for no snow, red state, no income tax. And I never got a bachelor's degree. And so Texas was the only state that fit those requirements. The other ones would have been Florida or Tennessee. You needed bachelor's degrees. So I had to go to Texas.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And then I knew nothing about Texas, so I just Googled best high school hockey because I want my future kids to be hockey players. and it was all in the DFW area. So I would just take some weekends when I was at Judson's, fly out here, drive around, and find a town I liked. And apparently, a lot of people like this town. This summer I opened here, 5 other chiropractors opened.
Great. That's awesome.
So awesome.
Yeah. It's so great. More awareness, there's never a lack of people. It's just lack of awareness, and it's so cool. And Dallas has a hockey team, don't they?
And they have the Stars. I was just at the Stars Wild game Wednesday night, Tuesday night, whatever.
There you go. So, Mary, it does show that, it's like, Nolan, it's not just chiropractic, it's not just the business. The business is us.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're selling shoes, if you're, selling cars, or you're, selling health, right? The business is us. And this is, if we take care of this and keep this pristine, keep this discipline, keep this fed, keep this, in love with the life that we build, the rest is just going to take care of itself,
Absolutely.
And you're really showing it. And so in 7 months,
7 months.
Yeah. Like, what did you say? When did you open practice?
August 1st.
Yes.
August 1st.
Tell us the bumps, because it ain't all easy. We know that.
It's not all easy. There's behind every win, there's 10 losses, right? And the most memorable story I had was how I knew nobody in the area. So what I did was I graduated in June, end of June, moved out here. So I pretty much had all of July to like meet people. And that's kind of one of my strengths, I guess. Like I'm a relationship guy. So for me, it came kind of easy. I was just going to gyms, restaurants, networking groups, and I met a lot of people who were interested in chiropractic. And I thought things were going awesome. So for August 1st, my first day open, I had 13 patients on the books. And how I did was just a new patient every hour. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 at 7. It was a couple. So like hour was packed like that. And I thought I was the best chiropractor in the world. Cloud 9, ego through the roof, thought like this is the easiest thing ever. And so that morning I was trying to get to the office at like 5 a.m. or something. I was gonna go super 2 hours early, just really get clear and get ready for signing up 13 new patients. And I go out to my car at 4:30. It doesn't start. Never had problems with it ever. Car does not start. So right away go into fight or flight, freaking out. Try it 3 times, nothing's happening. I'm looking for Ubers and Lyfts, and it's 4:30 in the morning. There's like 35-minute wait or everything. I'm freaking out. So I just deep breath in and just like God, like I gotta get to the office. And I swear to you, I tried one more time, like 5 seconds, it's kicking, starts up.
Oh man.
And I tried 3 times before that. So I go to the office and I'm like, okay, I'm here now. Like, let's see, like if that was a fluke, tried it, wouldn't give anything once it got there. So the universe was looking out for me getting into the office, which I'm blessed for, but it kind of put me in initial shock. And then do my prep work in the morning, 8 a.m. patient gets there, shows up right on time, do the whole thing, thought I did everything perfect, give him my recommendation. I just do day ones and get the classic. I talk to my wife, never hear from her again. So first one doesn't show up. I have this pull up on my computer. And then next person, no shows, no calls, never heard from her again. So that was at 9 a.m. 10 a.m. calls, cancels. 11 a.m. shows up, goes through the whole report. Do you take my insurance? I don't take insurance. She left. My 12, no calls, no shows. Right after that happens, my 2 p.m. calls me and cancels. And I look at my 1 p.m. and he's this guy that I met at a networking group who's like a gym owner, and he already has a chiropractor. And he told me when he signed up, hey, I just want to come in because maybe I can refer some people to you. He was just being nice. So it's like 12:30. I look at this. I'm like, no way my 1's going to sign up. My 2's canceled. I'm going to be going into 3 p.m. Not one patient signed up. I'm in tears. I'm crying. And I'm Googling like how to join the joint. I was like, okay, I'm not good enough for this. Not easy. I swear I looked up how to join the joint. I was ready to call them that evening and like see if they could convert my practice into one of those things. And then 1 p.m. comes and I have no expectation of him signing up, but I'm just doing the thing. I'm like, yeah, that's how we do it if you send someone in. And he's like, okay, like, what would that cost? And it's like, here's the price. He's like, let's do it. And I asked, I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, like, I'll sign up. So he signs up. And then my 2 p.m. already canceled. 3 p.m. comes in. He doesn't sign up. But I'm like, whatever, at least I have one. And then after that, 4, 5, 6, and the 2 at 7 signed up for care. So out of the 13 patients, 9 showed up, 6 signed up. And from there, it was okay, let's do this. But
what was the lesson, man? What was the lesson that day?
Don't let the highs get too high or the lows get too low.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
just like
you,
I would say the same thing. Like I'm listening to your story. I'm like riveted. Like, well, who showed up? Did they show up? It's like, but you're right. It's like what I heard too was like just kind of just be there. Just you have one job
Yeah.
to do, serve.
Yeah.
Right.
And it
Just show up
took
and
me a
serve.
while to learn that because, and I'm a lot better now, not perfect, but a lot of times heading home, my attitude till that next day is whether it was
Yeah.
a good day or a bad day. I remember one time I had this super awesome week, Monday through Thursday. Somebody like I think it was my first patient who dropped out of care. It was my last patient on Thursday, and the rest of the weekend I was just upset.
Yeah.
But again, don't let the highs get too high, lows get too low. And if you look at the last 7 months, like things have grown every month, and just the little events you can't get too caught up in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
What was Jay-Z's line that you said earlier?
I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
If that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Absolutely. Because you know what? I mean, the business can run you or you can run the business. And when the business is running you, you're at the effect of everything, whether it's high, whether it's low. And you could have a crappy week Monday through Thursday, and on Friday night have 3 sign up, and like their weekend is great. But you can have a phenomenal week and have 3 drop out, and your weekend, and it's like that's being at the effect of something, right? It's not working from just allowing the universe to do what it needs to do and being that humble servant, like you said, and being able to just, here I am, I'm a vessel. I'll take care of it, fill me up, and let me move forward,
Yeah.
And
another thing I learned.
I was gonna say, if you can learn those lessons early on, because it takes some training to do that. If you can learn them early on, you'll save yourself in the end.
Well, it sounded like, Mary, one day, his first day, Nolan's first day in practice was like 3 months of somebody else, kind of deal. Yeah. I mean, you got it all pushed at you right away. I love it. I love it. And I love it.
And it must be because I'm a slow learner because I'm still learning those lessons.
No, but I love what you said. Like you said, I'm still not, I still don't have it all down. And it's true. I mean, it gets to the point, a lot of people, I have to tell you, a lot of people, it's when something else happens in their lives, maybe it's their first child where they finally say, you know what, there is something more important than that, and when I say that, I'm not talking about more important than life, but more important in my world right now that I don't need to be at the effect of, my office anymore. And then their practices just grow because they really just they're holding on so tight. And then they just kind of let go because they've got this something else that opened up their heart, and boom. There's all different things that happen, but I love your story, man, because it's so true. And then I know it's not like this, but I mean, obviously where you're at right now, you're doing great. I mean, you send me texts and they certainly are. It's very cool, should I pay off my student loans this month kind of deal, So you're doing it, and share with our audience how you're doing it. Like have you hired anybody? Are you just, what are you doing?
Hard. I haven't hired anyone yet. I'm actually in the process of that, but hard work, persistency, work is fun. I love to work, long days, sleepless nights, probably that all of August, because I had 1 month or all of July at 1 month to prepare for that was I think I was working 12 plus hour days, 7 days a week. No lie, whether it was workout classes or networking groups or building those tables or putting up those sticker things. And it was really just, I was kind of blessed in a way where my fiance was still in the Bay finishing up school. So I had nothing to think about besides here. And over breaks, she's came and she's been a big part and helping
Yeah.
with all this stuff. But when she's back at school, I don't have anything else to do besides this place. And she's here now because she's on a precept we're doing with Dr. Zeus in DeSoto. And she loves to joke that Fridays and Saturdays are my days off, but how I love to find excuses to get into the office those days. And I'm here right now. But so I'm definitely working on that balance. But
Right. But you grew the practice by yourself in the office, just the mechanics.
the mechanics,
Yeah, just
networking
you grew it by yourself,
was,
right? No
yep.
CA.
So all of July was networking groups. And one thing I did that I think kind of stood out was I didn't have business cards. So people say, give me your business card. I don't have one. Give me your number. Then I'd have their number. And then I could text them when our opening and stuff and kind of be in control of that there. So, and you just meet people like you. They're excited you're opening a practice, new business. And it just is that. And then gym screenings was I made some friends with different gyms around here and they pretty much gave me free reins. Hey, come set up a table whenever you want, and I'll go and I'll take people's posture and explain how their spine affects their health and sign up there. And those are, again, hard work and persistency. I think I average 2 patients an hour. So I know, okay, I can go spend 4 hours at the gym this Saturday. I'll have 8 new patients doing that. So those are pretty much my two things. And you just work them hard enough and do the right thing long enough, and the end result's predictable.
Yeah.
So I have a question, Nolan. Do you feel like right now, because from Dr. Ron, I know where your numbers are at. Do you feel like right now you can take your foot off the gas pedal a little bit, or no?
In like educatedly, I don't think so. But like Dr. Oberstein was just talking about, every time I take a little vacation, I come back and the practice grows. So I have some fear mindset where I'm like, oh man, if I don't do an event this weekend, I won't have new patients next week. But one of my favorite stories was in November, I took 1 weekend off, no days from the office, just 1 weekend of screening and networking to go on a hunting trip with my dad in Minnesota. And so I came back that Sunday and there was very few new patients that next week. I was like, man, like, should I have gone on that trip? I do a 2-hour Sunday shift, and that shift, 5 patients had a referral for me for that next week. And the 3 of them came in that next week, and we just never missed a beat. The office grew.
And that's
That's a good lesson.
Yeah. That's that balance of just letting go, and realizing that, you're running the business isn't running you, so to speak. Right. And yet being aware enough and open enough to listen. So, man, Nolan, I'll tell you what, you dropped some gems today, especially for, I don't care where you are in practice. A person could be 20 years in practice. It's just about that discipline, that going in, the love of what you're doing and making that happen. We've reached our witching hour, but we can't leave without asking you 2 questions. We got 2 questions that we want to hit you up with. Mary, who's going first?
I'll ask the first one.
All right. You always ask the first one.
I know. Huh? I like asking the first one.
All right. Then you got the first one.
Yeah. Okay. Nolan, again, with your vast experience now, if you could go back and speak to first quarter Nolan, first day of class, what advice would you give him?
Celebrate the wins and take in every moment. It goes quick.
Yeah. Hold on to your seats, right? And don't party those first 5 quarters, right?
Well, yeah, it turned out all right.
It turned out perfect. It did.
But the closer you get to the end, the more serious you got to take it. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Second question. Look back 7 months and speak to Dr. Nolan, who just graduated, just got the grapevine, about to open the doors. What you've learned in these 7 months, what would you tell Dr. Nolan?
It might be the same lessons. So celebrate the wins. I'll add the don't let the lows get too lows and be present with it, because really the last 7 months is a pretty big blackout. So I wish I had a little more presentness in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are good lessons, man.
Really good
Those are really good.
for all of us.
We hit it, man. We hit it. Home run, Nolan. I'm so proud of you and inspired by what you're doing. You know, it's so cool to see. And you know, every graduate does it in different ways. You know, Dr. Mary and I kind of hold all of our graduates as our kids on some level, you know, chiropractic kids will say, you know, that you know, we're, you know, and whatever they go through to get to where they have to go through to get is their lesson in life, you know, and it's just so beautiful to watch you, and now with Bree, you know, graduating soon and seeing what you guys are going to do together. It's inspiring. So thank you for allowing Dr. Mary and I to be you know, to be in the bleachers at your game and watching you guys play, because it's been amazing.
And I wouldn't be here without you guys. So I have forever gratitude for you too.
Well, we'll take that.
And we feel the same about you and Bree.
Yeah, absolutely. And to our viewers, you know, thank you. I mean, thank you. Listen, what Nolan just shared today, I don't care what year in practice you are, it's all true. I mean, it's the stuff that we've got to do in our lives, no matter what happens. You know, it's the discipline, it's the knowing, it's the being aware, it's the understanding that we're not perfect, and it's understanding we have more growth to do. It's all of those things. And you know I got a lot out of this conversation. Share this with other people, and we want to make sure that, you know, just let you know that we appreciate you tuning in week in and week out. We drop these Life by Life Wests every other week. The opposite weeks we do our Life West leadership line, but we certainly couldn't do this without you spreading the word. Our numbers are very high right now on viewership. We want to keep getting our message out and keep helping the population out there get healthier and happier through chiropractic care. And we're all doing our part. And obviously, Dr. Nolan is doing a big part in Grapevine, Texas. So thank you again for tuning in. For Dr. Mary, for Dr. Nolan, for myself, we'll bid you adieu. Keep loving and hugging those around you. Stay disciplined and keep telling the chiropractic story. All right. We'll see you at the next Life by Life West.